Hello! Oh, that's where the camera is, right. Hi. I got to 10,000 words in, like, Mist Over the Eyes, which has fairies in it. Because fairies are awesome. It's funny, because I actually really like stories with fairies in them, but I tend to prefer the stories that that kind of take their cue from older stuff. Like, where fairies will steal your children and make you go insane. So, things like that. I also really like it when fairies are kind of actually the same size as people, because that's how it originally was. I think it was in the Victorian era when they got wings and became infuriatingly cute. I probably will write a story with tiny winged adorable fairies. Maybe not adorable, but tiny and winged fairies that will make your life terrible. How about that? I'll do that. Anyways, the fairies in like Mist Over the Eyes, they live in kind of like underground areas. Yeah, they can do lots, and with illusion, they like making things look like or sound like or feel like or smell like what they aren't, and tend to have fun while doing so. They have a lot of fun. They have a lot of fun at things that you would kind of question the morality of sometimes, like stealing your children and making you go insane. It's interesting because in like Mist of the Eyes, you will discover that Adrin actually spent a number of years with fairies, not the fairies in this book, different fairies. So some things might make a little bit more sense about her. Well, you know that. Maybe, possibly. You'll actually meet those fairies in the next book, not this one. Which is a bit of a spoiler, but not really, because it's going to be, like, right in the description of the book. They have, like, you know, king and queen type idea. Like, some of them, I think some of them would have, like, a council or something like that. It really depends. Like, it's not like all fairies do the exact same thing, because that would be boring and also semi-unrealistic for sentient beings. They look like people. They could pretend to be people. And then they can also just do magic stuff, and they can see magic, and they can tell when somebody has magic, and enjoy messing with things, and meddling, and doing mischievous stuff. I have more detail in my Scrivener file. My laptop's over there. That's spoilers. You can't know that. That's not allowed. Like, they can see through illusions, can sense when something magical is nearby, can identify what kind of magic thing that is, what kind of being caused magical acts they've seen. That's handy. They go with illusions, as I said. They can cast a variety of spells, enchantments, and curses, and they also have the ability to release magic without directing it towards a specific purpose, which causes the magic to be directed by their emotional state. I forgot that I wrote that in there, so, I don't know if I'm going to do anything with that in this book, but I've only got 10,000 words, so that's going to be really interesting. Yeah. Oh, diet. Because I have, a template for all of my different creatures that are going to appear in the series, and so diet is on there, and diet is everything humans will eat. Sometimes this includes food stolen from humans, because these are fairies, and what else would you expect? I could read the whole thing. That would be boring. I think that would be boring. Do you think that would be boring? That's actually a good question. Because I make these notes just for myself, and just as notes for the sake of having notes to keep track of everything. Like, I don't really know how interesting this stuff is. Oh, look, werewolves. That's the third book. You heard nothing. Anyways, fairies. They live in groups. It's like they don't last long by themselves. They tend to be in groups. This isn't a huge deal in this book. I don't know if I'm ever going to make a big deal out of it, but I stuck it in there on purpose so that I could remind myself, when you see one fairy, there's going to be a bunch of other fairies. Keep that in mind. That's important. In later books, it's important. You will find out why that's important. In this book, there's going to be fairies that are helping out, or maybe not helping out, Adrin and Nadin. I'm not going to say exactly 100% whether or not they are good fairies or bad fairies because not all fairies are weird and crazy and whatever. Some of them can be good and helpful and wonderful, and some of them can be just downright evil. Which ones these are, we'll find out. Even if they're good ones, though, they tend to do some things that are just like, really, 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 you had to do the thing. Why? Why did you do the thing? I mean, there's a fake severed hand in this book. And I discovered, or decided, I don't know, that the fairies are the ones responsible for this fake severed hand being where it is. So I don't really know what to make of them a lot of the times. And I think that's part of the fun in fairies, is that you just like have no idea what the heck they're doing, but they're obviously having a blast, and you really, really hope that it ends up in your favor in the end. I really want to write more stories with fairies in them. Wow, this is a thing that I want to do. Perhaps, but for right now, I'm writing like Mist of the Eyes, and it has fairies in it, and now you know a little bit more about fairies. I'm gonna do a video every 10,000 words about some aspect of the world and magic and stuff like that, and I have a few ideas of what I could talk about. Obviously this time I talked about fairies, but if you have anything that you're really curious about, especially if you read Hidden Sealskin and you kind of want to know more about stuff, let me know. I'll make a video. I won't include spoilers because they're spoilers and I'm not going to include them, but I will talk about a lot of other stuff, and you might be surprised how much isn't spoilers. So let me know. And if you are not watching this on my Patreon, then you should go check out my Patreon, where you can find out more about the stuff that I write, and find about Hidden in Sealskin, which is the very first book of the series. This, like Mist of the Eyes, what I was talking about just now, is the second book in the series. And yeah, on Patreon you can help support my writing and support my webcomic, which is going to be the first story arc is actually going to be finished this week. It has nothing to do with fairies, but it's cool, and there's an 11-year-old girl with a wooden sword going around and doing adventures, so why wouldn't you read it? Yeah, if you haven't, subscribe, find out more about the book, see if this is the kind of thing that you like to read. So yeah, see you.